Craig. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Ash.
Oh,
Hi. Hey, Burge.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Good to see everybody. Thank you
up,
all
bird?
for hopping on
Okay.
here. So
Oh my
I
God.
was kind of talking about the stay home, stay healthy Washington stuff, but enough about that. On to something much more fun to talk about, the blending contest. Thank you guys all so much for participating. I want to hear what you guys thought, y'all. Oop, let me get Bill in here.
I'm just gonna text him.
This is recording, right?
You know what? Let me just make sure. Yes, it is. I don't know how in the world I didn't record the first one, but I'm very happy that we got this one recorded. So yes, it is.
It shows recording up in the upper left.
Yeah, perfect. Up in the upper left. Oh yeah, it does. So hi, Bill. Hi, Bill.
Yeah, I think I'll just mess up your audio.
Thank you guys so much for participating. Hi, Sue. I thought it would be fun to talk through how everybody felt like the experience was. I don't want to get too weighty, but I thought maybe if we started kind of almost opposite and went for and talked about like Craig and Jake's experience, then the people who had wines that funneled into their category, which that would be, let's see here, that would be for Craig, it's going to be Theron and Carrie primarily. And because all four of the wines Theron that you judged, and oh, I guess only one of yours, Carrie, and all of Bill's wines were then the winners that you selected all went to be judged by Craig. So if you kept track of your numbers, that would be number 1357.
Yeah.
9172, 346, 3496, 1729, and 4918. Those are the five that Craig judged. So Craig, you want to talk a little bit about that? And
Yeah. So I don't know, since I've never really gone down this road before, I guess I didn't know what I was looking for exactly until I got all the wines in the glass. You know, I had no idea what, you know, no preconceived notions or anything like that. So, you know, we blended everything as it was, and initially we tasted through everything. And at first, you know, it was hard to discern the differences, but left them in the glass for a while, I guess, kind of let the flavors come together, and then they all started to really, you know, bring out different characteristics. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You know, it wasn't as easy. I mean, it was challenging. You know, you don't want to be too critical on one or the other, you know, but it was, you know, some of them had advantages, some of them had disadvantages and stuff like that, but they were all solid wines. I ended up going with, do you want me to talk about which ones I chose?
Yeah.
I chose, well, I guess, number 1357 and 4918. The first and last one on my spreadsheet. Both of those sort of hit all the notes for me. Like I said, I didn't really have any idea of what to expect, so I just kind of looked for things, not analyzing it too deeply, but I guess more hedonistic in style. I just kind of went for whatever I found the most enjoyable, and the first two were those two. The number, I guess, the first one and the second one, they were tough. Those were really, really tough for me. And then I love the aromatics on those two especially. The third one was, or I'm sorry, the last one was pretty explosive. So the first two were really difficult. I looked for the aromatics first and then just try to find, whatever nuances I could within the wines themselves. So overall, I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was not cut and dry. It was much more challenging than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So so that's means that the 4918 that came out of your batch there, Carrie, of the ones that you were judging, and that only has 4% Mourvedre, and the 1357 came through the top round of Theron, and that had 14% Mourvedre. So you go from 54% Syrah to 76% Syrah. So it's interesting, isn't it? Like when you kind of are tasting wines, some of them were more similar in their blend. Although actually, it's neat to see that there are so many different blends. I
Yeah.
haven't really studied your bracket, Jake, but how did you feel like things went? And what you want to talk about the wines that you judged?
Yeah, it was actually kind of surprising. Two things surprised me. One was that the two that I ended up liking had incredibly similar blends, just varying by a couple of percentage points. And the second one is that I had to make a decision because I actually liked all the wines quite a bit. And I had to decide that I was choosing the wines that at this moment I thought tasted the most complete, because I suspect that the ones I didn't taste, as they have some additional age, are going to come into more balance. And part of the reason I didn't choose the ones that I didn't choose was because they were a little firmer and it was blocking out parts of the palate that I wanted to have. And my guess is that a year from now or 3 or 4 years from now, those wines may come into their own in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't make that decision, I would have had to pick all 5 wines, and I think I would have gotten in trouble for doing it. So I ended up selecting for my 2 out of the 5. Let me see if I can remember what the numbers are: 5832 and 1438, which were the 2 that had the least Syrah. They were both very close to. Both very close to having, they had between 10 and 15% Mourvedre and nearly equal parts of Syrah and Grenache. And that surprised me because I figured, especially with you guys' grapes coming from Destiny Ridge, that I was going to go for the ones with the most Syrah in them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's been my preference for years. I've always loved the Syrah from there, but I was both aromatically and on the palate, and again, the key factor being at this exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
Most complete ones were I thought were the ones that had what ended up being a higher percentage of Grenache compared to the other wines.
Well, that would make sense, right? Because Grenache is kind of, I mean, it's a little bit lighter bodied wine.
Well, yeah, and I think it allowed some of the other flavors to come through. Whereas if you had wines that were really locked up, I felt like there were holes that are probably going to get filled in later on. It was fun.
Yeah, good. All right, so Carrie, why don't, since you're this only girl on the panel, you want to talk a little bit about what your experience was like? Yeah, you want me to unmute you? Do I have to unmute?
Yeah. Oh, no, I got it. There's this stuff going on at my house, so trying to keep it quiet. I thought it was really fun. We've played around with this idea before when we've done members only blending competitions, and I just can't believe how hard it is, like trying to decide but I ended up picking blends more that had more Syrah in them, which I'm actually kind of surprised about, because the last year's members only was over half Maved. Hang on just one sec. Be quiet. Was mostly Maved, and I loved it a lot. But it seemed like I would have liked more Maved in the blends. I like that would have made a difference, but most of mine had pretty small amounts. I had one blend that had 13% Maved in it. Anyway, I just liked the Syrah ones. They were silkier and bigger, and but that was a surprise to me too, because I have always kind of liked the Grenache heavy side and the Maved heavy side. So
Cool. Hi, Rich. What do you have? What were your thoughts?
Rich, you're muted.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not like I've never done this before. I kind of agreed with Jake. I was definitely leaning on the Syrah side. I mean, it's that's, when I looked at my numbers, and that's where I was headed. And, it ended up being a couple things. I think the first two we blended right away. One of them had 50% Grenache, and that was the 6701, I think. And it just came across super boozy. Like there was too much alcohol. I couldn't get past it. But it went up against something that had 30% Grenache, and that backing that up a little bit just brought it down a little bit more approachable. And so we had, and in between the four blends, we quickly, and it was nice because my daughter was here. She hasn't done labs in a while. She's doing biology up at Western. So I put her to work. So she enjoyed this. So just as a side note.
It's nice to have an assistant, right?
It was, yes. And she was going to town on the pipette. So, but then the other two, where I thought, we're going to lean towards a 73% Syrah. It just came in kind of muted. And so that Grenache, more of the equal blend ended up winning between those two. And then at the end, I think we found that there was more balance in the Grenache it was about 30% Grenache. It had a good nose. Just kind of all came together with that particular blend. So, and then, we had three input from three people. Allison all three of us were joining in. So it was a lot of fun.
Good.
And I think Jordan got to see the chemistry side of winemaking, which I think is not a lot of people get to see the lab side.
I know you guys are bringing up good points. I mean, about mostly, just how difficult it is to decide. You're going on. That's where it's nice to be doing this a lot with young wines. So I liken them to people and say that, once you've like winemaking, you get to know that these are teenagers. So kind of if they have X, Y, and Z components, most likely they're going to develop into X, Y, and Z people. They don't always, but that, so you can start to project what that's going to look like. Because sometimes I taste things that the guys are blending and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I don't know how that's going to come together. But that's one of the fun parts about members only. And I think it's going to be really cool. We've only ever had members only be something that was judged by their peers all the way to the end. So to have people who are, used to tasting wine and familiar with our members only and everything to be doing it, I think this much time and energy being put on the process, I think is really cool for everybody who's involved. Let's see, Theron, Want to tell us about your experience?
Oh, I thought.
Are you guys in the same room?
Yeah.
You might want to be on the same screen, yeah. Just shut one of them down. Or leave, yeah, that's another option.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun just putting the blends together. That part I've never done, so I thought that was pretty fun. My 4 selections were actually really similar. They were all really close to the same. One of them had just a little less Mourvedre, so it was kind of hard to tell a couple of them apart. But the aromatics, it was fun tasting them individually because the aromatics were fantastic. So the one I ended up picking was, or one of the 2 was, 50 Syrah, 45 Grenache, and 5 Mourvedre. So I thought that was going to move on. I don't know what happened. I think I got picked off. But no, I had fun. I thought it was a good experience.
Good. Was it hard for you to pick?
It was surprising that 2 of them really stood out to me, and those are the 2 that I picked.
Yeah.
Even though they were similar.
You almost have to, like, it can, for me, it goes one of 2 ways. Where you just go with your gut, right? When you're tasting, you're like, okay, boom, that's my first, that's my second. Or you just keep tasting them and tasting them and tasting them, and you almost end up with the 2 that you got to the bottom of first are the winners. You know what I mean? You keep coming back to them.
Yeah, I picked initially, like I smelled all 4, then I picked one that I thought stood out. And then I let them sit there for about 10 minutes, and I kind of went back and tried them again and again. And the same ones were still standing out for me. So that's how I selected my 2.
That's cool. That's cool. And yeah, like I say, that's something that during the members only blending contest, the way that we used to do it in our old normal, we didn't have all that time. So what about you, Bill?
I had a lot of fun. I enlisted my science aide, Sue, who works in labs at University of Washington. So I had her watching the meniscus for me on the cylinders.
I like it.
We started out, I just tasted a little bit of each of the wines on their, the constituent wines on their own. And the one that really stood out to me was the Mourvedre. I really like the spicy note, kind of the pepper. And so maybe that's kind of what I was looking for in the wines that I picked. My overall favorite was 63% Syrah, 22% Grenache, and 15% Mourvedre. And of the 3 wines that I had to judge, that was the one that had the most Mourvedre. So, but yeah.
We did a blind.
And then after I finalized my choices, I had Sue do a blind tasting for me. So I theoretically didn't know what I was getting, but
came up with the
I
same
kind of had,
results.
I came up with the same results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad that everybody enjoyed doing it. That makes me happy. I think that's a secondary benefit. Matt?
Yeah, I had a great time doing it. It was nice drinking in a professional setting, I guess, instead of sitting on my couch and drinking wine. So that was a nice change. But yeah, no, I loved all the wines that I had.
You're a professional, so every time you drink,
I actually ended up picking. Drew, I'll think of that every time I take a sip.
No, I actually had it was difficult. I mean, all 4 wines were great. And, you know, like you were saying, Allie, it was kind of cool to see all of them varying in different percentages and me liking both of those styles. I mean, they all kind of brought something different to the table. So, but yeah, I mean, I loved all of them were just really bright. I mean, I liked the acid on all of them, really, really well balanced. I actually ended up, for my favorite, I picked out one that was a little more balanced really balanced between the Syrah and the Grenache. It was 45 Syrah, 45 Grenache, and 10% Mourvedre. So that one, like right off the bat, I just loved the aromatics. Kind of had that nice toastiness, what I always think of when I like a GSM. That's actually one of my favorite style of wines. That it just hit all points for me. So really enjoyed that one.
You were happy to see that it moved forward?
Yes. Oh, did it?
They did a great job.
Oh, awesome. Good. Yeah, and then the second one I picked, it's funny because I think Rich had mentioned it was one that I wasn't crazy about when I first poured it. It seemed a little muted. It didn't have much aromatics there, and it kind of just fell off. It didn't really have a finish for me, but as it sat in the glass, I actually ended up really, really enjoying it and coming back to it. So, and that was, I think that ended up being 60 Syrah, 25 Grenache, and 15 Mourvedre. So, yeah, I mean, it was a fun experience altogether. I think club members.
Hold on, you got muted.
Oh, yeah. Someone's muting me. You just muted me.
Sorry, I was trying to hit print on something. I'm not trying to, I'm gonna unmute everybody and then you guys can mute yourselves if you want. There you go.
There you go. Well, I was done anyways. So.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, I was, I'm sorry. I don't know what else you said because you were right in mid-sentence.
I was saying that all of them should win, but you know.
Yeah, I know that it's hard, isn't it? So I'm gonna be excited to see what Jared picks. It's I'm of all of them, and bear with me here because I'm gonna hit print and I'm not gonna hit mute because I don't want to mute everybody accidentally. But when Jared goes through tomorrow, I'll be curious because as it stands, you have the 4 that have moved forward. We have 54% Syrah, 32% Grenache, 14 Mourvedre, and then 76 Syrah, 20 Grenache, 4 Mourvedre. So that's probably the one that is arguably the most different, because then you have 42% Syrah, 43 Grenache, 15 Mourvedre, and then 45, 45, and 10 Mourvedre. So I'll be curious to see how it all goes. But I really do appreciate you guys doing this and taking the time to make it happen, and everybody else, Ashley, Weibel, Christine, all of you, appreciate your help on the support side of it all. And yeah, so I'm going to print out my little state night sign here, and then we can do the little toast. You guys can all unmute now.
You got fancy, Rich.
Who got fancy? Let's be real.
Jordan and Allison got fancy.
Allison.
Okay, I'm gonna step up my game.
That's the bonus of an elementary teacher.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay, game on. Just wait.
Okay.
You're making me look bad, Rich.
No. I like it. Oh, I like the WT Vintners. Look at you two. Get it together.
Oh, yeah.
We go back to this.
So tell me, well, I'm,
Here, right? Hang on.
That's a little close.
I think I might need to turn my mirroring off, right? Because is that what's happening? Like,
No, it looks right, Carrie. I think it's
Mine
between.
backwards? What?
Yours looks fine.
Oh.
so now the
Oh,
challenge will be
got you. I
gonna
get
have a glass of wine that they're going to be able to hold on to.
Do I need to do a flip on my camera here?
No, Jake, it actually comes through
Yeah.
right side.
Correctly?
It
Okay.
does.
I've never held a sign up in a Zoom meeting before.
You don't have Zoom flashcard yet? I had to make a whole bunch of copies earlier of the newsletters. And so when I was doing that, I accidentally left it on that many copies. So then I printed out one email, I thought. Got a lot of copies of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it so that I only get one copy of this. As I literally, I'm like, why am I out of paper? Because I have, which actually,
Sharon, I want to know if it's Thomas Springs.
what?
Was it Theron that got Watoma Springs? I want to know how he grabbed a bottle of that.
I don't know.
Who'd you call? Nice. Yeah.
I called them up and they did a special delivery for me.
Of course they did.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a glass for myself, and then you guys all have a glass.
Nope.
Hang on.
Okay.
Christine, is that tequila? No. Oh, settle down, Tina. It's too early for that.
Just wait, a couple more hours.
Bring her this.
I mean, it's wine o'clock now.
Oh, yeah, we've
Oh,
got
there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Christine.
Oh, cool.
Washington tequila, right?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Okay, you guys.
Bill,
Kim is gonna video us in just 1 second. I'm gonna pour some wine here.
throw it back, Bill. So, yeah, I know it doesn't look like it. I know it doesn't look like it, but Matt and I are 6 feet apart right now.
Mm.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just the angle of the
Can you
camera. it's
make
weird.
can you get your camera further apart?
We got the fisheye camera going on.
Okay, so we're what you yeah. Okay, we'll stop it for just a second and then we'll figure out what we're gonna say. So I guess cheers to we're not doing it at this exact moment, but we're saying cheers to Washington State State Night. Cheers to Washington State Night.
Good night.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So we went. Good.
Cheers to Washington State Night.
I didn't get it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
One more time.
We're ready now.
You got to do countdown.
Okay. Okay. You want to count it?
Yep.
Okay.
We'd be out of wine.
Hey, Christine, put some in my glass. Hurry.
Cheers to Washington State Night.
Cheers.
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 Cheers to
Cheers.
Washington State Night.
Yay.
Curtis Winery.
Okay. Everybody deserves a drink after that. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kim.
Can you hear it? The volume.
Oh, Ash.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, Ash.
We
Thank
lost.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
still
Thanks,
on.
Jake.
Okay. Oh, I
Thanks, Bill.
didn't accept her.
Hey, Craig.
Okay, hold on a sec, Kim. Come back for a second. I didn't see Ashley got off. Okay. She went to go get a glass of wine.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Bye, Ash. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Okay, so
clear.
Kim is the countdown person. So can you guys hear her?
Yep.
And we're all going to say cheers to Washington State night. Is that right?
Yes.
At the same time or one by one?
Are we using the signs as masks?
I like
Ah, Kilroy.
I'm just gonna hold mine like this.
Sandpoint Grill.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Cheers to
Cheers.
Washington.
State
Good night.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. That's a wrap.
Oops, I froze.
Good job, you guys. Okay, so I'll see you guys all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did it turn out?
I'm gonna see if I got it.
Oh, she's gonna see if it got it. Okay. Oh yay, my voice is horrible. Okay. So see most of you tomorrow at 2, and then anybody who's hopping on the team call tonight at 6:30.
Yay.
Bye, Bree.
Chin chin. Good job, guys.
Bye. Thank you guys
Yep.
all again.
See you guys.
See you, everybody.
Hey, what's it?
Bye.
Bye.
How's the weather in Prosser?
Gorgeous.
Oh,
Seriously beautiful. You want to see?
not really. That hurts.
So nice. Now we have had crazy wind.
Oh, that is pretty.
Isn't it nice?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been really windy, so I don't feel guilty bragging that it's nice today.
Yeah, I saw your tumbleweed tornado on the TV this morning.
Oh, that was
Wow, that was amazing.
It's crazy, yeah. Crazy stuff. Oh, I don't know how well you guys can see a video on here, but this morning, for the first time, we had our sulfur sprayed on. Oops. And so we've never had it blown on, before. Let's see here. You guys will be able to. Okay. Well, that's exciting. I don't know if I hold it
If
this way.
people put it on their speaker view, then they'll get a good
On
close-up.
speaker view?
No, on everybody else's speaker view.
Oh. Okay. Well, still, I don't know how great it's going to be because this will, maybe I'll go to this video because I think this one I can turn, have it be big. But anyway, you can.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Nancy?
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jared kept it off the ground, huh?
Yeah. I know.
Did he fly it?
No.
No.
Right.
You never know.
The crazy part was over here, like around the offices, because those power line. I mean, there's power lines
Oh, yeah.
everywhere, but it was really. I was trying to find the one where he looks so close. There are a couple of them where I'm like, I bet that's not legal. You know that feeling? You're like, just don't hurt yourself. Show off. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and got the whole vineyard done in a couple hours. So that's pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah. So, and apparently Juan's car in the mailbox.
I bet he was thrilled about that.
Yeah. I don't think so, but yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I will talk to you all soon. And
Cool.
yeah,
We'll see you in the
thank
happy
you.
hour call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, bye.
6:30.
Tell Jeannie I said hi,
Thanks,
Jake.
Jake.
Jeannie says hi to everybody.
Okay.
Hey,
Bye.
Jeannie.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.